everyone. Welcome to In the Corner, the place where every cricketer wants to be. I'm your host, Callum Duncan. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the podcast. Well, England are in turmoil at the Gabba. Not a happy hunting ground for them at the moment. Play ending only a few minutes ago with England 6 for 134 at the end of day 3. The Australians were superb with the ball today, but it was all thanks to some seriously good batting from the tail of Australia. Mitchell Starc finished with 77. Scotty Boland finished with 21 not out. But the day started with Michael Neser and Alex Carey at the crease. Neser unfortunately nicked off for 16. Carey probably threw away his hard work from last night in a pretty rash shot, but that's the way that Alex Carey plays, and he was out for 63. But Mitchell Starc and Scott Boland were able to bat for a significant amount of time today, about 2.5 hours. And this absolutely made the advantage of bowling under lights with a brand new pink ball for Australia. England actually didn't look too bad when they first went out to the crease with the bat, but we'll talk about that in a few moments' time. Just wanted to touch on, I thought Starc was very watchful early on. When Boland came to the crease, he was taking a bit more of a leadership role, facing the first 3 or 4 balls of each over and then allowing Scott Boland to face the last couple. Was able to find the boundary where needed, was able to attack Jacks the spinner. But I thought England were relatively poor with the ball again. I know Cast took 4 wickets, but just his inconsistency with his pitch map and his groupings, I think, was really disappointing. And I think England would certainly expect more from him, considering the way that he was able to bowl in that first innings in Perth. I think Australia do see Cast as the weak link in this attack. I think, obviously, we know what Jofra Archer is capable of. I thought Gus Atkinson bowled well in this innings without luck. They didn't use Jacks very, very much in this innings, and I think he actually showed some really good signs when he did come on to bowl. So I don't think it's potentially enough for Jacks to stay in the team for Adelaide, but I thought he actually looked okay with the ball. Took the last wicket of Brendan Doggett. I thought Stokes was probably England's best bowler overall in this innings. Took 3 wickets. His first 7 or 8 overs last night were pretty ordinary, or yesterday were pretty ordinary, but the way that he was able to bowl last night in the evening under lights and the way that he was able to bowl this morning, I definitely think he's England's best bowler on the tour so far. I just think he's England's best bowler in general. You know what you're going to get from him, the relentless effort. But yeah, England were just flat today. The body language was poor. Players not being tight on the one, and I just kind of want to talk about Jofra Archer for a moment. He bowled about 27 overs, and he looked like he'd been in the field for 3 days. I know that it was very warm conditions at the Gabba, about 31 degrees, but it looked like he was seriously short of match practice, and I think Australia played the situation perfectly today. They were able to keep England out in the field for as long as possible, but obviously to try and get the most out of the pink ball under lights, with the new pink ball under lights. But yeah, just the way that he was running around in the field, just didn't seem like he wanted to be there, and that's obviously a big call to make on a player, but I know Jofra has that more relaxed sort of nature compared to some of the other players like Stokes who wear their heart on their sleeve. But yeah, I don't think Jofra looked particularly interested today, and this England side desperately need him. So if they do get an opportunity to defend a total at Australia against Australia on day 4, England are certainly going to need him to be at his best if they're going to be any sort of chance in this game. And the Ashes are slipping away from an England point of view. So let's talk about the bowling though. So I actually thought England started okay. Australia were relatively poor with the ball for that sort of 20-minute period before the second break, the dinner break. I thought Starc was a little bit wayward. I thought Nisa, despite his figures looking okay, 3 overs, none for 14, I thought he was a bit wayward as well. Few balls down the leg side, but Australia, the break came at the right time. The Australians were able to readjust their line and their length, and they definitely looked a lot better. Scotty Boland with 2 wickets today, one almost going under Ben Duckett's bat. And then it was Michael Nisa getting the 2 key wickets, essentially back to back. Both caught and bowled of Ollie Pope and Zach Crawley. And I thought Crawley actually looked good again. The way that he drives, the way that he plays the ball through the leg side, obviously streaky at points, but we understand that's the way that Zach Crawley decides to go about his innings. Ollie Pope looked really scratchy today. I think he gets another opportunity in Adelaide, but I'd certainly think he'd be batting for his place in the side. Obviously, duck in the first innings, poor shot to get out here when England really needed him to dig in. So, Crawley's no doubt safe. We know what Crawley can do, but yeah, I think Ollie Pope is just walking on thin ice for the time being. Once again, Root, it was Root and Brook who came together, and they looked solid for a little while, but Mitchell Starc going around the wicket, bowling back of a length, and then that full ball was able to dismiss Joe Root. And not sure what the umpire, I was actually saying to my dad, who I was watching the game with at the time, the umps have had a good game, and but then it was just those 2 odd non-decisions and then referrals. The one with Harry Brook first, where he missed it by a good 20 centimeters, and to be fair, he did hit his pad, so I can see why the umpire gave that one out originally. There was a noise, but the second one where Root hit the ball and then the bat hit the ground, that was a bit of a bad moment for the umpires there. And then, there were multiple reviews going on. So, the ball was definitely talking. The Australians bowled extremely well with the pink ball. The one that Harry Brook got from Scotty Boland was an absolute ripper. And that one wasn't given out either. So, 3 pretty ordinary moments from the umps there, but thank goodness for DRS. I still think that there needs to be only one review because, these 50-50 LBW calls, but the DRS is there to overturn the howler, and the DRS was used correctly by the 2 teams today within 3 balls of each other. England went for 1 for 91 with Crawley and Pope looking Crawley looking nice at the crease, Pope definitely looking scratchy at the crease. And you could just feel that something was about to give. And Nisa was actually bowling a lot better when Alex Carey was up to the stumps. And we saw this in the first innings as well. He was a little bit wayward, just trying to push the ball up, probably trying to search for too much swing, but just bowling really, really straight, keeping the stumps in play, and was able to get on the back of two caught and bowled. Unfortunately, he dropped one earlier in the day whilst Ben Duckett was batting, but made up for it, dismissing Zach Crawley and Ollie Pope in quick succession. Jamie Smith got a good ball from Mitchell Starc going across the right-hander, and Australia just did what Australia does well with the pink ball, and I can see why England were so negative and apprehensive about the pink ball in the media in the lead-up, but Australia know how to play the pink ball. They've done it well, and I think once again this goes back to England's preparation. They had an opportunity to play in the PM's 11 game down in Canberra against a pink ball, only a 2-day game, but still, it would have been great for the likes of Harry Brook, Jamie Smith, who had a poor game here. Harry Brooks relatively had a poor game in the scheme of things as well. I just think that the batters really could have used the practice, and I think it certainly showed with facing the ball a brand new ball under lights, and Australia's class, Scotty Boland and Mitchell Starc in particular, were really able to nail home that advantage. So England only trail by 40 odd runs at this point. You expect the game to be potentially done by the first break tomorrow, or if not, then probably around that 5 or 6 o'clock mark tomorrow night. How much England can potentially get in front will determine on how long Ben Stokes is at the crease. Him and Jacks can certainly bat, so I have no doubt that if they could put on a partnership, they might give Australia a total of maybe 100 to chase at the most, but I can't see it being any more than that. Probably more realistically around that 30 to 50 mark, in my opinion. But it just depends on how well they start and whether Australia can get Stokes early. So let me know your thoughts about the day's play at the Gabba. Make sure you stay tuned to all of our social media, and we'll see you in the next episode.